Hey, it's Julie from Do Business Like a Woman, and today I'm talking about how to generate clients in your business while still working full time. And I know that time is really a challenge for you if you are in this position because I've been there, I remember. And so I'm going to give you some practical strategies for how you really deal with that. Like, how you can generate clients in the least amount of time possible to really get your business going, because I bet that you would love to transition from working full time to being in your business full time. So that's what we're doing today. So yeah, I remember being in this transition period, and I was working full time. I was also building my business. It's a really challenging place to be. Now, I remember working really, really hard at that time. Here's the thing. I had been self-employed before, and so I was not a very good employee. I knew that I didn't want to be an employee. It was a temporary thing for me. I didn't really see myself as an employee. I saw myself as a freelancer or an entrepreneur, female entrepreneur and business owner, but not as an employee. And I think that mindset helped me to transition more quickly. But anyway, at this particular time, I'd just been through a divorce, just had some personal circumstances, and I needed to go and get a job for a little while. And so I was working this job, but I always knew that I wanted to get back to being self-employed, get back to being a freelancer ASAP. And so when I was finally ready to pull the trigger, I worked in that job for about a year in some way, shape or form. But when I was ready to pull the trigger and actually launch as a freelancer again, I did it pretty quickly. I managed to get a full schedule of clients within a couple of months. Now, at the time, I was offering my services as a virtual assistant. I then very quickly progressed to being an online business manager, and then, got back into the coaching and mentoring side of things, which is really my background. But all this to say, I really wanted to do this fast. I didn't want to stay in this job. And so here's what I did to get that full schedule of clients really quickly. First of all, I focused on just a couple of client generating strategies. Here's what I see all the time with my coaching clients. I see them trying to do all the things, all the marketing strategies, be on all the social media platforms, and the latest marketing fad comes out and they're trying to do it. They're trying to do all of the client generating strategies. That doesn't work. Stop that. You will burn yourself out. You'll exhaust yourself. You'll spin the wheels and you will not make progress. I teach in my group program, in my private coaching, I always encourage people to pick just 2 client getting strategies, just 2. I know it's hard. We all have shiny object syndrome, right? But this is what works. When you pick 2, preferably one offline one and one online one, and then you focus, you master them and you work them until they work and until you have the clients. Now, I highly recommend that if you want to get clients fast, the offline strategy should be networking. You need to get out there networking. This is how I got clients. This is the quickest way to get clients, is that in person, right? Because it's easier to know, like, and trust someone in person than just online. So you can go out, you can go to networking meetings where your target market will be. That's really important. And you talk to people and you make those relationships. That is by far the fastest way. So if you want my pure recommendation, it's that your offline strategy should be networking. It doesn't have to be. There are plenty of others, but that's what I recommend. And then pick an online strategy that works for you. Now, today, my online strategy is my Facebook community, my Facebook group, combined with Facebook Lives. And I bring a lot of people into my community from Instagram. So that's my online strategy. I'll save the details of that strategy for another video. But when I first started out, when I was working full time and I was looking to transition, I actually went on Upwork. Which is a website for freelancers. Now, you will probably, if you do any research, you'll hear really mixed reviews about Upwork. There's definitely a downside. there are a lot of people on there who want to pay pittance for good work. You know, they really don't want to pay. There are people over there from all over the world. There are people in India, people in the Philippines who are willing to work for a lot less than someone in the UK or the US. That said, I did it differently. I positioned myself as a higher end option. You know, my English writing skills are very good. I'm a native English speaker. I have project management skills. You know, so I really positioned myself as somebody for the clients who were looking for that level. So they were not really looking for the general virtual assistant that they would tell what to do, or would be doing like data entry or replying to customer service emails or whatever. That wasn't me. Like, you know, I was doing things like copywriting, social media marketing, helping with a marketing strategy, building funnels, these type of things. And I really positioned myself that way. And then I was, you know, it was one of my strategies. So every day I was applying to jobs on Upwork, you know, several applications per week. I took a course on how to master Upwork, and I was, you know, really careful about how I applied, like how I wrote the letter, everything else. So I really mastered that strategy, and I was finding the clients who I could tell were looking for quality and were willing to pay the higher rates. You know, I always put expert level. Clients who've chosen that level have been told roughly what the freelancer will charge. So that's how I did it. Now, you don't have to use Upwork. There are plenty of online strategies. I've had coaching clients that I have mentored who have used LinkedIn and reached out and private messaged people and got discovery calls that way and got clients that way. But it's about picking one that works for you. Now, here's the thing though. You need to master it. This is why I say pick two. This is not about going broad and narrow. This is about broad and narrow. No, that's not what I mean. This is not about going broad. This is about going narrow and deep, you know, not being a jack of all trades, but really mastering the two client generating strategies that you pick. Other tips, and I'm not going to make this video too long, but other tips. You could negotiate with your employer. You know, I did this, and people always think that their employers are not going to be open to this. My experience is that they can be, and particularly if you go in with an empowered mindset, like you're doing this thing, you know in the back of your mind that you're doing this thing, you're going to be self-employed. You know, I went and negotiated with my employer, and I was able to do 1 day per week from home, and I was able to reduce my hours, which freed up some time for me to work on my business. Now, all the while keeping my job. I was very lucky. I got on with my employer and they were willing to consider that for me. I know it's not the case for everyone, but just be open, you know, look into it, have the discussion. Now, here's a really, really important point. Do you view yourself as an employee, or do you view yourself as a freelancer or a female entrepreneur? So despite the fact that I was working a job, I always viewed myself as a female entrepreneur, as a freelancer. And because I really identified with that mindset, there was no doubt in my mind that's where I was headed sooner or later. And I was super determined about that. I made the decision, and that was that. Nothing was going to stop me from achieving that goal. I have worked with people who I sort of look at them and I see that they still have an employee mindset. So it's like they're trying to create their business, but really they're an employee, and they will always prioritize their job over their business. Now, I know we all have to pay the bills. You know, I'm not looking to make anyone not have income here. This is why I recommend, you know, building up your business on the side like I did, and then transitioning across. You know, it took me 2 months from when I made the decision, but I really went for it. I was determined. You know, and when I had clients, I asked for recommendations. I did really good work and I asked for recommendations. So this is how I did it. Really make the decision, you know, view yourself as a entrepreneur or as a business owner or a freelancer, not as an employee, and start to think that way. Start to prioritize your clients over your job. You know, if that's where you're truly headed. Now, maybe you're not. Maybe part of you really identifies as an employee. Maybe part of you loves the security of a job. I don't know. There's no right or wrong answer here. There's just what you know deep down in your soul. But if your soul is calling you that you are supposed to be a female entrepreneur, that this is your path, like, listen to that and respect it. We have to have trust. So lots of love to you. I hope that wasn't too triggering, but I hope it was super useful. That's how I did it. Get on my email list. I have created a guide to getting clients, a step-by-step process which really outlines the exact process I went through. But I also dive into the feminine superpowers of attraction for getting clients as well, because we all know business is an empowered blend of masculine and feminine energy, and that is how we get results. And so go over to dobusinesslikeawoman.com, dobusinesslikeawoman.com, click on the button and you can get your free guide to get clients. You'll be on my email list. I'll send you loads of client getting tips, videos and other content that I don't necessarily share in my Facebook group or in other places. So I invite you to go get that guide now. It will really help you in your business. It will help you to get clients and transition. If it's what you really want, it totally is possible. I promise you, if I can do it, you can too. Leave me your comments below and your questions. Go get that guide and I'll see you on the other side. Lots of love. Bye-bye.